Right, hello, hello. I knew I was gonna cough. I was like, all right, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. And I coughed. Welcome back. It is the 23rd. Month is just flying by. I can't believe it. Anyway, let's dive into things today. I think we got everything working. I think tickets are working. Sound is working too. Good. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Um, your Neuro's in the red today. Neuro, I think you've like claimed that as like your color now, right? I feel like it's you know, it's becoming yours. So, anyway, let's talk about what we're seeing in the markets. For the most part, we're seeing a little bit of retracement for the pound. I mean, it was up so huge yesterday. Um, Again, it was bound to pull back just a little bit, which it should have. You're seeing euro pound at one, right? Aussie dollar at one, dollar CAD 11, dollar yen 17. So not a ton there. All it is really has been profit taking. So it is what it is. I wouldn't say there's any major headlines or anything like that, or any major risk today. Um, CPI obviously for the pound was purely a trap. It was kind of crazy. It's amazing like how I mean we had such huge movement yesterday in preparation for that news, and then all of a sudden that news came out, and bam! It just I mean talk about a trap. There's no other way to kind of there's no other if ands or buts. It was a trap. Cue the memes, Admiral Akbar. It's a trap. It was a trap. And it's pretty easy. You guys will see. We'll show you there. So today we're going to see again. There's some comments. I don't think they're done yet, but Bailey and Powell get some comments from today. We'll see a budget release, which but not necessarily the hugest mover, but we'll see. That's what's kind of the headlines are rolling in right now. And then we have crude oil inventories. Now API number was way off. I don't know that that will be the actual legitimate kind of number for things. But oh, hold on. Why is this popping up? Hold on. Wait, why is it doing that? Where's it popping? We'll see. I don't. I just feel that it's not. We're not going to see anything. So, I don't think it's going to be as big as what API is saying. And then tonight, I'm actually pretty excited about Blard speaking. I'm hoping that he like is slow to talk, or like I get really bad weather. So I was at my first game tonight at 8 the season. I'm like, man, that'll be done at 9. He's speaking at 9:05, like talking about the future, what's happening next. Like, it's gonna be great because I think he's gonna foreshadow what we're gonna see. So, yeah, ooh, some hot coffee. And that's it. Obviously, nothing else today is really on kind of the radar. Tomorrow morning, we do have some early stuff. Obviously, the monetary policy, it's not going to change. The rates not changing for the Swiss. The German numbers, I think, will be important. And then obviously the durable goods and everything at 8:30 tomorrow morning. I think we'll actually that could really kind of set us off in the morning. I'm kind of for lack of in a slow week, kind of looking at that. Now headlines have been interesting. This is a very interesting one. Talking about sending peacekeepers in Ukraine may lead to direct confrontation. I would agree with them. I mean, if you send them in there, they're going to be in a position, right, that there will be conflict. I think if you know, the time to send peacekeeping troops in would have been before that already started. If you send them in now, it is with the idea that they're going to have direct confrontation. So, I mean, I don't think there's any other way to look at it, right? And again, in Russia's defense here, yeah, if you send peacekeepers into an active war, then yes, they are going to, um, yeah, there's going to be confrontation. Uh, why that's a little scary to me is because, again, I don't know if it's over here, it's down here somewhere. Basically, Putin has made the comment that nuclear weapons are not off the table. It's down here somewhere. But basically, they're not. If we feel threatened, that we will. If our existence is threatened, we'll use nukes. I mean, define that. If NATO now steps in and starts rolling tanks in, he's going to take that as a threat. There's no other way you could possibly look at it. So I think it's very not the best kind of thing. Now, also, again, Germany's going to cut back Russian energy as soon as possible. They've already said that. That's already been out there. We've already known that for a while. Just making this comment, they said, "Oh, we're going to do it." A majority in the next 2 years, right? Which is fine. I mean, having all your eggs in one basket, basically, the Russian energy is all the eggs in one basket. You know, Russia's counterplay to that is like, okay, great, do that, but we're gonna meet. We're gonna sell more to our Asian allies, which is fine, right? They're in talks with their Asian partners to increase exports if necessary. And again, Todd's like, yeah, they're not going to take it. I'm like, Todd, you're being stupid, right? China does not care what anybody else thinks about them, right? Openly steal technology. They do it in spite of whatever they want. They're getting ready to roll over Taiwan. They don't care. They have yet to say anything. They've like they talk about how war is unfortunate and borders need to be respected, but they have yet to condemn Russia, and they're not going to. Um, if they can get a 25% discount on oil from Russia that they couldn't get from the Middle East or from Canada or whoever else they're getting it from, they're going to take it. Okay. I don't know what kind of plants are being smoked, but I'm just telling you right now, if they can get it at a 25% discount, if they can get it at 50%, anything that will give them an edge, they're going to do it. Okay. So yeah, Germany cuts them off. China says, we'll take it all, baby. We'll take it all. As well as China is going to face this, right? We talked about fertilizer yesterday. And again, it's so funny. Our worst crop conditions ever. Climate change. You have to say it, right? You have to say climate change, right? um, so yeah, again, they've already made wheat contracts. They said we'll take all the grain that Russia can produce, right? That was before they kind of crossed the border. That was designed. They're prepared. It's like, yeah, you can put sanctions, but yeah, China's going to buy a lot of our wheat. If Europe doesn't want it, China will take it. Um, yeah, so it's kind of like you take some and you give some. The other response that we saw today, which I think is kind of funny, Todd's like, yeah, whatever, nobody's going to do it. I'm like, okay, they are going to do it. Is this that Putin says, hey, listen, we're going to switch that. If you want to purchase it from if you want to buy, if you want to buy from us, you got to do it in rubles, right? So you have to purchase. You have to transact with our banks. We're not going to do it in currencies that we are locked off from. Which again, it's common sense. If they're locked off from using the dollar, and yet someone wants to buy money or buy oil from them in dollars, they can't do anything with the dollar. So of course they should switch it. Like that's just common sense. So he's like, "Yep, no, see, this is just a joke." It's like, whatever, we'll do it. Like, okay, it's gonna, the fact that they have to acquire rubles means they have to buy them from Russian banks. So, I mean, it's ultimately going to help. And is Russia trying to pull a Japan economy? I think that they are. I think that they are trying to make themselves an export-based nation. Um, I don't know if a country their size is able to pull it off, but I think they're trying to do that because they know they got a lot of things like goods and services. I think they're trying to reset their currency is what they're trying to do. I don't think that's the grand plan, but I think that's one of the things that they've looked at and said, "Yep, we can roll with this." And they've made many comments now about how sanctions don't hurt us. We've had them before, we've dealt with them before, but we got what y'all need, right? You want your fix, you come to Russia. Um, and again, countries as large as China. China is supposed to be the next country to take over, and they're well on their way. They have a plan to do it, and now they have, a close relationship with a country that has all the natural resources they need to do it. So, yeah. And meanwhile, we're just pissing everybody off. So, yeah. So as far as headlines go, that's kind of those are the headlines. A couple crypto headlines as well too. Mostly from Johnson. Where is it? Talking about how, yeah, I mean, here's Pal talking about this. It's very likely that digital financial activities that aren't regulated will come under it soon, of course, because, we have, Bailey basically at the same time is saying we have a lot to do to get grips with the digital currencies. We have to do it quickly, too. Lagarde yesterday made comments about how, yeah, illegal activities are being, are taking place rapidly, right, inside of the crypto realm because of the lack of regulation. Um, Russia made comments that, okay, fine, sanction us. We'll just use cryptocurrencies. We'll become the place where people go to mine cryptocurrencies now. Yeah. So not really the best picture, but digitals are on the way. It's just, there's a lot more regulation that we're going to see in the very near future. Um, so literally everything is basically just a reset from yesterday, right? These guys were up big. Everything else is flat. They're a little too late with the party on that, aren't they? For which one? Which one, Neuro? Are they late to the party? Which one? Who's late? The digital currencies? Yeah, we're way late. China already has a policy and has tested and has given the World Health the World not World Health the IMF. They've already given guidelines of how to regulate and facilitate the rollout of digital currencies. So yeah, we're already behind China. So, but I want to see what you say. They're a little late to what party? Coffee. The delay. It's like, oh, I don't know when you typed it in versus when you see it. The delay is always interesting because, but also NATO. They're known for the current issue for how long? Oh, yeah, of course. Yep, yeah. And that's I always said from the very beginning. Like I, I, I was very surprised when they actually crossed the border. Um, and I think it was because we showed absolutely no. We'll sanction you if you do it. Like I don't think that they ever considered any of our threats actually serious. And it took weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. And we were, I from the very beginning said, you should tell them if they cross, we cross because we see that as them encroaching upon Europe in the same way that it's a buffer state. And we didn't. So I think now it's too late. So I think Putin has played his hand well. Todd's like, no, they're getting creamed. They've lost 10% of the forces. I'm like, from who, Todd? Like, I don't trust our news. I don't trust our government. Our government's already been caught in a lie recently about reaching out to Saudi Arabia. You know, Saudi Arabia's like, nope, we never talked to him. Sorry. And the White House is like, no, we talked. Yeah, we did it. We did it. It's like, no, the Wall Street Journal published that you got caught. Saudi Arabia said, no, we didn't talk. We're talking to China. So they've already lied and been caught about lying. So I don't trust any of their data. And again, this is not a standard war. The United States had the same problems. You know, urban warfare is not the same. Tanks are not made for urban warfare. So when you have nations pouring billions of dollars into anti-air and tank missiles, then yes, of course you're going to have a hard time. You know, so again, it's I hate when people have it's whatever. So Todd is like, no, they're losing the war. I'm like, they're not losing. They could melt the entire, they could destroy the entire country if they really wanted to, you know. But yeah, so so we'll see. And then remember, I don't know if you guys saw it yesterday too. The main Putin's main antagonist was sentenced to 9 years in jail yesterday. So there's that. When you want to get rid of your political opponents, you just arrest them and throw them in jail for a decade, and that's the way to handle it. So thankfully we don't do that here, but it's common practice there. So all those people that they're trying to cut off McDonald's from and tell them that they need to revolt. Yeah, history shows us that revolting in countries that are communist doesn't tend to end too well. So I don't think we should be trying to, you know, drum up the population to revolt because I think that will cost many lives in the future. So yeah, whatever. All right, let's go into the markets. Let's start off with Aussie. So yesterday we talked about 74.62. We're up in that area now, and you can see it's been chopping around, bouncing around a little bit. Interesting place that we're at right now. We can raise this fib up a little bit higher. It doesn't really change much. We had some chop levels down here, but where we are, we definitely have some basing. And really, since 6 o'clock yesterday, we've been stuck in a pretty minor range. I mean, when I say minor, we're talking about less than 20 pips. I wouldn't say it's a grinder one way or the other. Um, I think I think this level right below where we're at right now is definitely one to watch out for. It's a decent base. There was a little bit of you can see it's all green, but there was a little bit of a hiccup there too. Even when you run fibs like on kind of a shorter time frame, you can see that that's kind of right around that 50 mark. So it's one of those ones I'd like to say, hey, listen, definitely drive this, push this down. There's been some comments this morning, some headlines about how Australia is not ready to raise interest rates just yet. It's coming, but we're not there just yet. So, yeah. Oh, by the way, I have to add this in there. I don't want to go back to it, but we were talking about it yesterday, Ernest, about the price of meat in Texas and how meat is bad, and vegetarians are like, yeah, it doesn't matter. That's leaving to global warming anyway. Well, it's like, yeah, but when they're talking about crops, they're talking about soybeans, corn, and wheat, right? Guess what? A lot of the vegan or non-meat alternatives are made out of soybeans and corn. So it's 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 a conspiracy, right? It's a conspiracy. It is animals creating global warming so we have less farmland to produce vegan dishes. That's what it is. It's funny how it worked out. But anyway, I think watch out for this level. As I said, I think I think Australia is at a stage where they need to start raising soon. They're saying that they're not quite ready yet. It's an area that I'd watch out for in the shorter term. Once we kind of chop through, and again, this top area here, right around what 74, 77, it's now had three touches. Actually, I guess four. So it's at a stage now where you're wondering, is it going to hold much longer? This is a pretty decent pullback. It was a base. There was a little area you can see where it is based off of the high. I think it's something you'll watch. For those of you that are looking to go long, um, only because we've taken three strikes higher, because it's not a level of high risk, right? It's only 8 pips. It's tiny, right? It's tiny. It's not anything big. This is what it would kind of look like in the other direction. And it's not even breaching through to the top. So I would say that's there. I've got a lentil steak here, ready for Ernest to throw on his grill. A lentil steak. Hey, Ernest is, like I said, Ernest. There's pictures of cauliflower wings, and he said they were good. So I mean, he's not opposed to it, right? He's willing to try it, but you know, it's funny. Melissa actually asked me, not recently, but should we try? Or I don't. I think it was Melissa. Should we try, like a Beyond Meat or whatever the heck it is? And I was like, no. Why do I want a whole bunch of processed chemicals that are meant to taste like meat? I just, why would I? I don't. Why would I want to throw all this that stuff in? Like, you want to go vegan so we don't have like chemicals and pesticides, but then you want me to eat like meat that is 10 times more processed with chemicals and everything else. I that doesn't make any sense. Vegans are a confused bunch. They'd rather eat fake stuff. Yeah, that's what I'm. Yeah, that's what I just mentioned, Ernest. Yeah. So the delay came in for me. Yeah, I don't get it. Let's eat all these weird, funky chemicals to make it. It's like chocolate, right? You guys try to get chocolate syrup for ice cream. It's chocolate flavored syrup. It's not actually chocolate syrup anymore, right? And actual syrup, right? You're getting fake colored cornstarch or corn sugar or whatever, right? You're not actually getting maple syrup from a tree, right? Because it doesn't say maple syrup, it's maple flavored syrup. So it's like our life is basically just becoming not real. So, yeah. But anyway, look for a pullback. 74.37, I think, is where it is. Also, again, you can see we have a level of basing right before that. Now, again, this one chopped through a little bit, and again, the yen was having so many problems. It's not like the Aussie is strong, and it's not like the yen is strong. So this was like a weak week. But you can see yesterday where the rise finally stopped. If you put a top in, and again, these were decent shaped candles. I talked yesterday about the shape of the candle. As soon as you started to see a base before this level, you're like, yeah, not looking good, right? It's probably going to break. But now it actually put a decent base in, and it had an early morning kind of 5:30 ish, that European reversal time, kind of gave us a short entry. And again, we had that other basing level here. We were looking for that, kind of, again, yesterday we kind of drew it, said, this could be where the pullback area is, the base, right? So I think this one is still short. Again, the entry would have really been up top to run it down. But I think at this point, if we start to base through, we probably see this come back down to 89. And again, yesterday we were talking about that higher time frame and finding a good candle, looking for good, again, price action wise, a good drawing. The open, low, high, and close. We wanted to see. And again, we got it. We got the base. We got the confirmation here, and then again, there would have been our entry this morning on it. So I was asleep. It's funny. I can say this. I was asleep here. I was not asleep here, right? But I wasn't looking at charts. I was like, I need to go back to bed. It's only 3:30. But I was asleep for this one. It did fall back asleep, but it was one of those ones. It was like, oh, crazy. Um, I have tried Beyond the Meat stuff, so that when I dished out the insults, I knew exactly what I was talking about. Yeah, I haven't done it. I just haven't had. I looked at the. For me, Beyond Meat is like the Twinkie of the meat world, right? It'll make it through 3 nuclear holocausts and have a shelf life of 60 years. So it's probably not something that I'm into. So yeah. And on the flip side, Ernest, can you dry? Can you? I mean, I guess you can dry age anything, but like dry aging meat is the thing. Can you dry age Beyond Meat, Beyond the Meat, whatever the heck you want to call it? Is dry aging possible? I feel like no. I feel like you need to get one of those like what are they? Umami bags or whatever, uni bags or whatever. Dry agent. I feel like you could dry age any meat, but could you dry age Beyond Meat? Food for thought. Excuse the pun. Anyway, I think there's another short in here. If you're already short, you should be good to go. Don't bother, no. Ernest can't even type now. He's so angry. He's like, "Don't you dare! Don't you dare!" Um, so yeah, 89.03 would be where my target is today. Euro pound, you can see, is basically just flatline, done nothing in the last 24 hours. Euro pound has now moved -1 pip, so it's kind of flatline. It's kind of stuck. Again, we had that Harry Potter we talked about, maintaining our short from yesterday. We were here. It went down a little bit farther. About another from where we were, about another 25 pips, and now we stabilize. So there's no real major news here. Look, your edge is up. Focus on the Ukrainian talks. Did it really edge up? Maybe a little tiny bit, but I wouldn't say that there's not really a great short. Let's extend this down. Let's see. Yeah, it kind of went off the 23, right? Again, looking for that pullback. That's what it ran off of. I can remove this old one, right? So yeah, it kind of went back, but we talk about, oh, was this did we miss an entry? Did we miss something? We're talking about 15 pips worth of movement on that one. So not really. Again, do I think this one still continues to come lower? Yeah, absolutely. If there was a demand or if there was a supply zone there, then yeah, I would have said yeah, it's okay. But where the zone was formed, it pushed really deep into it. So unfortunately, not really the best. I still think, as of right now, excuse me, I still think this 8360 is probably the best area we have to really get back in. It's not at a level right now. We kind of need this to push down and grind lower and really come down into this level down here. If we can get it to touch, then the 50 will show up at that level, a base and nice push. But right now we're kind of at this. It's kind of the 23.6, so we're just pushing it down. But again, we have buyers, 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 so it's not a short for me. But I do like this one, to the bearish side as well. Euro pound. So you can see that this one returned. So again, we talked about the bounce. We missed it by like 3 pips. Came back up. We missed it again. It came up. And again, it had its 1, its 2, its 3 at base, and then pulled through. And then obviously the opposite direction. We did have a top here, and right there. European session open. This is one. So I had it drawn this way. I had it off the red candle instead of the green, and I should have used the green. So this is one of those ones. I don't know if you can see it. I don't know if you can see it. On this one, on this chart, it touches. Okay. You know how we talk about sometimes the pipette gang gets in there and doesn't quite fill your positions the way that you plan? Well, this is one. So I did actually have an entry in here. And because I was like, oh, European Open, I was like, that's good. After it peaked here, I was like, all right, 7, 8 o'clock. I like how this push came down. I'm like, all right, good. If we get back up here, that's decent. We'll see if we can take another stab at that. And I missed. So it happens to all of us. I hate when it does, but I missed. Anyway, obviously, if you were in this trade, you were out now, right? This is what it would have looked like had it actually triggered. There's your 1 to 3, and I was like, hey, look, there's a base right there. We're close proximity. We're good. Yeah, the analysis was right. It just didn't enter. Now we push all the way back down, and I think at this point, we'll take this off. We didn't need this one. This one triggered that. There is a level here, right? There's a level a little bit lower. That's going to be your downside target. Do we take a long from that? Got 19 pips to go in 30 minutes. It does have a 20 pip ATR. My stepdaughter tried to sell me the Impossible Burger. Yeah, I mean that's Nero. That's a good point. It's actually pretty good for what it is, right? But they lose me when they try to say it tastes like meat. Yeah, I mean that's like the crab with a K. I don't mind crab with a K, right? I like it. I mean, it definitely it serves its purpose. But to try to tell me that it actually tastes like crab is not true, right? It's different. I'm fine with it as a separate entity, but yeah, it's the same thing. Like when people tell you that like portobello mushrooms taste like meat, I'm like, I like meat. I do not like portobello mushrooms. Maybe I don't know. Maybe it has the consistency, but I would never say it tastes like meat. Maybe if you don't eat meat, you can and you can believe it tastes like meat. But I don't feel that a portobello mushroom tastes like beef. Sorry, even with beef seasoning on there, I've tried it and I still don't like it. So it's still earthy in my eyes. So yeah, Euro yen. I'd say this is a target for us. Could we take a potential bounce off of that in 30 minutes? Yeah, it's definitely one. I mean, we've had such destruction in this one in the overnight session. 10:30 again. If the yen steps in, we may be able to get a little bit of bang off this one. As we get some profit taking. Again, the yen is not in a strong situation today. It's just this is the euro retracement from last night. So hopefully somebody was able to grab that. Unfortunately, I was not. And again, it happens. Not worried about it. Only meat tastes like meat. That is true. Euro dollar. So Eurodollar, we talked about this level yesterday. We marked it off again. You had a couple different entries. We were sitting here yesterday, talked about the short. You got another entry last night at 6 o'clock, and you got another one here at the European Open today. We talked about a target of 109.73. We just actually passed it. Um, so with where we are right now, I'd say I'd look for this lower level down here at the 61.8. Again, the 50 that we're looking for here, the target that we were looking for, we kind of drawn this for an entry up higher. The entry came in fine, but there's not really any buyers that I'd be looking for. I would say that the next buyers on this one would probably be sitting down here. It's a decent pop. It's not the first time it's hit it, actually two other times before, but because this has been pretty much straight down, and again decently, right? Impulse correction, impulse correction, impulse correction, impulse, and then it stops. Um, I think that's it's an area to watch out for. There we go. 109.40 is kind of what I would say. Yeah, besides that, I'm just not interested in this. I was trying to see if there was anything here, but not really. And again, I'd still take a confirmation bounce. Look for it to hit. Maybe if it pulls about halfway in, pulls out, and then pulls back again is where this one would take off to. So, um, yeah, I'm not interested in that. I'm trying to see is like, I don't like this one. Yeah, so you're out from yesterday. Look for a reversal, 109.40. Look for a little confirmation bounce off of it. Pound yen. So again, pound yen talked about this. Again, overall, I'm still definitely bearish pound, but was looking for a decent candle top, and we got it. Once it stopped and stabilized here overnight, it's like, oh, this is going to go down. So again, a pretty easy draw. You can see that when the news came out right here. I mean, literally, the candle that shoots it down is the news, and this was such a huge run up, and then kind of a stall and a base at the top in preparation for that news. It's what we see on the normal news kind of trades, where you see price drive towards an area right before news, and then the news comes out. It's like, oh, it should go higher, and it goes straight down. It's just a trap. So where we are with the trap now, it's a I'd be cautious. Use caution in here. We can remove this from that session. Really, the only basin we have, the only thing we can really see that is kind of a clean level is all the way down here. So again, right now, impulse correction, and we're kind of starting that impulse move. As I mentioned before, I don't, is this really massive amounts of yen strength coming in? I'd say not really, but we do need to find the buyers in this one. I would say right now for yen, I would say that we really don't have any buyers coming in probably till that level. And really in the grand scheme of things, if we take kind of their low to high, I mean we'll draw it really easy here. You can see it's much farther down. If we take it from more like near term, like this last big push, you can see right here that that 51, the 185.14 happens to coincide with a 61.8 more than it does the 50. The 50, there's really nothing at it, even if we take that. I mean, again, there's really no pullbacks in this. So, you know, I'd say watch that and then vice versa. If you want to take this top to bottom, if we do have any type of reversal, right now the 50 is nestled right in that little area right there, right? So those would be kind of two levels I'm watching for in this one. Would be a red there and a green right here, right? Oh, and that happens to be right around a level as well, right around a psychological level. Again, 160 is a big deal for the pound. So, yeah, those are my two levels. Like I said, I like this short. I like it. I hope it continues down because I really like this pattern. I think this would be a decent level to grab later on. But 158.14 is the buy. 160.06 is the sell. Taking this one across. So funny enough, we left this yellow one on there as an area of interest, and again we hit it. We hit it again. We came through and we hit it and pulled back to it. So this was one that we didn't really get the pullback for like a Harry Potter trade in there, but I don't think we had it. We didn't have it drawn that way. So let's remove some of these. Looks like none of the areas held. Um, yeah, pound dollar. I'm not really interested until we get down here. You can see top to bottom, the 50 is kind of in the middle of nowhere. If people do a long at 50, 61.8, it looks like they're going to probably get stopped. They'll get stopped out when it breaks through, hit, and then bounce higher. So, yeah, I mean, right now we have this area right here, right? There's nothing until lower, and we know that price has been turned around from that level, right? We've seen some turnaround kind of in here. but I'd much rather go with the really clean, the one that was able to halt it, right? Halt the push down. I think is probably the better of the two. So I'd say for more aggressive types, you could take a 130, a 3125, um, versus the 3105. But again, kind of the same thing. Look for that reversal. And again, this one I think it's okay with some dollar strength coming back in. I think it's deserved. You can see the dollar right now is up 0.43% at 80, what, 98.40, 98.40, sorry, 98.84. So wait for a clean pop, is what I'm saying on this one. And again, coincides with what we saw in the pound yen anyway. Dollar CAD, still doing the same thing. Talking about this one bouncing off of 125.62. It did. It bounced, it bounced, it bounced, it bounced. We're in the same exact spot. This one's moved a total of 9 pips in 24 hours. Not really any action on this one. We may get some movement today, but right now it's still kind of like, are we going to, you know, is Canada going to stay pegged? Is Canada not going to stay pegged? No trend. I would say that this one is still just completely flat. Um, we're still 76 pips high. I still want to get down to 125, but maybe we can do it today. If oil is really, you know, if the API number is really as big of a miss as, I'm sorry, if the EIA number is really as big of a miss as the API reported yesterday, that should bring more strength into oil, and that may bring us down. I just don't know right now. It's just, unfortunately, Ukraine and what Russia's going to do with their oil is dominating more than what we're doing in the United States with oil. So Mm, I don't know, but I still think 125 is on the cards. It's kind of where I'm shooting for in this one is 125. Canada's talking about at least three raises, but I feel like right now, I feel like Canada's sitting on like a prize box or something, right? And what I mean by that is, with oil staying where it is, right? They produce a decent amount of oil. I mean, the United States basically acquires all of it, but I really feel like Canada's in a situation where if like their economy, I feel like is in like a slingshot, if that makes sense, right? I feel like they're pulling the slingshot, and every time oil jumps, they pull it back a little bit farther and a little bit farther. I feel like they're poised for a really, really big boom. Okay. Um, and with that being said, I feel like thinking out 6 months to a year down the road, the more weakening we have globally with the dollar, I feel like the CAD is insulated. We're going to buy all their oil that they have. So there's no supply deficiency there with oil. We're going to continue to buy their oil. And it's a lot. I mean, it's 4 million barrels. It's a lot, right? Um, I feel like if oil prices really start to get jacked around, the CAD is only going to accelerate even further. I feel like it's like a sleeping giant right now. So it's why I still believe that 125 is in the cards. Dollar Swiss. So dollar Swiss is kind of bouncing back and forth. Again, we had another hit off that one yesterday morning at 3 a.m. Today at 3 a.m. it was much more muted. We were right here. We were right here. So we kind of went up, but kind of went back down again. Tomorrow morning is when we have their kind of policy statement. All right. They're not expected to change, right? But I think the language is going to be really, really important. Right now, it's not really kind of showing me what it's going to do, right? It is pushing to the downside. And again, if we do pull down into like maybe something along these lines, this is not very far, but you can see that this one definitely chops back and forth, right? If we can be here for this news right here, right? This is the policy rate. Again, not expected to change. It's not going to be on the change. It's going to be on the language of when they could possibly change. I think that that has potential. And right now, I feel like they're going to say because of the contagion of the Ukraine, we don't know what's going to happen. Right now, if it continues to push down, right before that news, I feel like this has given us the opportunity to be able to take this long from news tomorrow, right? With something along these lines. So it's kind of setting up that way. It's got some room to run. I mean, when I say room, we're talking about 20 pips. It's not like it's got to move like 100. Like it's out of the. I mean, it absolutely can get down there from now till then. But right now, with the way that these tops have been put in, how the bottoms keep being tested and broken, but we have new kind of lower highs being put in, it feels like it wants to grind down. And again, grinding down before that news would lead me to believe that it's going to pop. Again, that would be Swiss weakness. Are they going to come out with a weak statement? I feel like they could, based off maybe inflation in Switzerland is not as bad. Remember, the Swiss is they made a stand on sanctions, so they're not quite the neutral country that they were before, which is going to keep people from sending money to the Swiss. So feel like they're in a little bit more of a weak scenario. So that would be a tomorrow morning based trade though. Pound yen. I'm sorry, dollar yen. So I mentioned finding the top. We drew it yesterday, like, yeah, that could potentially be the top. It ended up going up and needing the top one. So we can remove this bottom one. Again, it hit it, it based in front of it, it used it again. So I would say right now, um, just keeping this one clean. The top zone is what held. We obviously, we could have, based off of this top, we absolutely could have drawn a new level of risk, which I think is right here. Okay. I think we keep that on our radar for the future, right? But right now, I'm looking for it to come down and again, not base here. I want it to base a little bit lower. But I think this one is still valid by the way that we actually found this. This is higher time frame. This is 4 hour base level here. I think a break of 120.29 gives us the break and the pushback to the downside. So again, we're seeing yen strength kind of come back from as much as it got beat up. I don't think it's anything that is super strong, but the fact that we just bounced off a 4 hour zone, if we can get some basing, it's got to find some buyers. And there's not really a lot of consistent buyers minus this little level here until we get much lower down to 119.20. So pushing back, I don't think is bad. Overall, do I think we stay short with this one? Probably not, but we got to look for buyers on the top side. So, could it bounce off this yellow area? Sure, it could. It could. But I think 120, a break of 129, set yourself an alert. Look for that to have to push all the way, a bit lower, right? Right in here. Whoops. Right there. Okay, we get some notification. All right, there we go. So cryptos. Cryptos. Again, I mentioned this with Todd's group. Again, I know a lot of us are not trading it out there. It did have a pullback to the 50, and again, found an area of demand and popped off of it, and now it's pulling back lower. The comments this morning have not really been the best for crypto traders. You don't really want to hear that everyone's like, "Yep, there's no currencies. Yep, we're so far behind. We need to catch up." Right? There's illegal transactions happening. So a lot of the language that they're saying is really, again, not really what you want to hear, but we'll see. Ethereum's up a little bit as well. I think at this point it's kind of like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? And GME, this is one that I wanted to talk about. Look at GME yesterday. We were up 30% yesterday. And again, from where it closed, it's up another 11% today. So the meme stocks are back. Um, even AMC is up. AMC bought a gold miner, and I guess GME, I guess the owner or something like that, Todd's like, oh, yeah, the president bought like another 100,000 shares or something. I don't know. It's up 30%. So yeah, GameStop is back in, guys. I guess it's video games are cool again. Um, Bonds, obviously, with indices being in the red, bonds obviously up a little bit. I would say that they're necessarily tradable, and I'd be very very cautious with things like TLT right now. Um, let's see if oil has done anything yet. Oil is just going nuts. So oil has now hit that 1313 target. We've broken above it. Let me see if I have any stabilization yet. Ooh, kind of. Ooh, kind of. It's kind of there. Kind of have that foreman. Again, a little bit early, but we're kind of getting the hold there. We'll see. We got about another 8 minutes to see if whether or not this is the hold area. But I'd say right now, if I had to make the call, like if the news was getting ready to come out now in 2 minutes, I would say that this would be set up more for a short to the downside. So that's how look. That's how it's looking right now. It looks like we are set up here. We'll see. Again, we got 8 minutes, right? We got 8 minutes, but I would say that right now, this is what it looks like for oil. Natural gas also exploding. Let's see. I don't need to do the 1 minute. Let me do the 30. Yeah, natural gas had that huge. Oops, I don't want that. Natural gas had that spike. Let's see where we go here. Ooh, the 23 now is now in a level. So, let's see. Whoops, not that. Mm, yeah, we know we still have that piece up top. Let's mark these two levels off. There and say that those are our next two levels for natural gas. Let's see what we can break through. Go. All right. So interestingly enough, we do have a level of basing right there, and we have a nice little pop, and it's a 23% pullback. So 515. Looks like 515 is decent. Hmm. It's an interesting one. It's funny. Like, we get natural gas inventory tomorrow. Curious to see what that one's going to be. I'm telling you, this is look. Natural gas rises on higher demand expectations from cool forecasts. Cool forecasts. Now, cool here. I don't know. I'm not putting the heater back on, but you know, with little sub. Let's see. In the next 4 days, a little colder. Lows in 20s and 30s in the Midwest and Northeast. Saturday, Monday through Saturday, Saturday through Monday. Ooh, lows in the 10s, the 30s. What the heck is this? Yeah, weather, weather. But I will say this, guys. With this rallying a bit higher, we have two zones. Knowing that this is caused by weather over the next 4 days, it's not like the weather guys always get it right. With having two zones up here, I would say any of you guys that are looking for natural gas, it looks like it's going to deteriorate on Monday, right? This could be nice, two nice little sell opportunities going into next week. So, yeah, yeah, it could be something there, right? We got some time, right? This is the oh my god, the news is bad, and it's going up, and then once we get to that news, if it's not as bad, we turn and roll. Let's look at gold. Um, Again, some comments with gold. We have those pesky senators. I can't believe I can't find it now. I found it earlier. Um, where is it? Where is it? Senators now are like, we're gonna block Russia from using their gold. It's like, great. We've weaponized the dollar. Let's go ahead and try to weaponize the gold. Like, okay. Um, like people aren't paying with things with gold. Gold is just what backs currencies. I don't even see it right now. I didn't read the article. I just kind of laughed at it. That I thought that was pretty funny. That certain senators are trying to get votes and they're like, "Hey, we were really, really hard on Russia. We wanted to ban them from using gold." Okay. We're gonna go back to the. We're gonna use seashells. Um, yeah, I can't find it. But anyway, anytime gold's in the news, you're going to see a little bit of a pop. Like I said, I think 1940, the last time we were there, it's hit twice, but nice pushes away. Really, right now, the two things we have looking for gold are shorts if we can get up to 1940.83 and 1910.46 to the downside. Uh, it will chop back and forth. I expect that, so not necessarily surprised. But right now, you know, we're kind of going back into, we're seeing bonds go up, right? We're going back to safety. Again, index is down. Well, safety is also gold, right? Gold is also considered safe, so because it holds its value, so it's bouncing back and forth. But I think we have two nice little shorting opportunities in gold at those two levels. Silver, it looks almost identical. Silver, funny enough, like if we take we had the levels in silver here, you can see that it paused, it thought about it, and then it went up, and there was your basing it at the 61.8, and you can see that's what it hit, and that's what it hit. So I think silver comes back down. I do think we get back down to this 23, back down to 24.70. As I said, this is like my target. I wanted to come back down to 24, but we got to break through the 24.50 level, and there's definitely some buyers in there. So I think this one kind of slows its roll. I think we come back down, and I think if I had to draw it by tomorrow morning, I would say by tomorrow morning we'd be dealing with probably silver over here, unless there's any major headlines. But I think that's where we get back down to. Let's go to oil. Oof, oil looks like it's trying to hold. Look at that. It's trying. It's actually pulling back already. It's trying. It's trying. We may have to find another level in the next couple minutes. But look at that. It's there. It held and stabilized before. Let's see if we've got 12 minutes. Let's see if we end up hitting full profit target or if we push back into one of these levels. See, on a 5, do I have a decent level? I don't know that I'd call it decent, but there is probably an argument to be made in there. But yeah, so oil's starting to move. So we'll see. Um, check out VIX. VIX on the 30. Actually, we can go to 15. It's fine. Yeah, VIX is holding higher. It's doing okay. Dollar pulling back a little bit, which is fine. We have a dollar sell area right there. We're going to mark the buy area off, which is not really the best of buyers. Right there. All right. Yes, let's see what we've got. Well, there's your 9:30 candle. We hit this area of buyers at 9:45 and now taking off. So not an opening trade. I'll draw it, but I'm not going to count this as far as the statistics go. But there's your 50% level. There's your 1 to 3. So we missed it. And actually, I guess Actually, the 9:30 candle we got right down to it. So yeah, again, that's the level we were talking about was 44.69, 44.70. Um, opening print within 15 minutes, 50% retracement level, all at the same time. So again, easy kind of long on that one. We mentioned that in Nadex today. So yeah, I guess we actually do have to because it did come down right at the open. So yeah, so there's one so far for the 15-minute strategy. Again, easy trade. Again, basing at a 50% retracement level should have been easy grab. NQ, we talked about this one coming lower. It didn't quite get back down to a buy level for us, and again, it turned at 9:45 on a 15-minute. I would say that this one was not really. Um, I guess you did have a little bit of a pullback right beforehand. Actually, that was 9:15 and then 9:30 here, so not really. I would say that my feeling would have been short at the open, but not really. I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't have traded this one, so this would have been a non-entry at the open. YM, look at that YM slice right through, right? So we had that 50%, and it got there. Actually, look at this; it came all the way down. So yeah, we talked about this being a nice little area that if we were going to have that kind of push at the open, but it looks like that negativity stepped in early, and it came all the way down. Wow, I'm actually surprised it came that low down, right? Um, Actually, there's the top of the green candle. It just touched it, and that was at 9:45. So again, was it in an area? The 9:30 candle was down here, actually here. It wasn't at in a group of buyers, and I mentioned that you would have those people looking at it, but there was no buyers there. There was no demand level there, so it wasn't really something that I was interested in getting long off of from the open. I am surprised it did go that low though. But it went down where it should have. That was the last kind of push higher, and that's what it grabbed. So if anybody did grab a long off that one, it didn't hit till 9:45, so a little bit late. But yeah, we talked about 34,500. So yeah, that was in. Russell wise. Russell too. Yeah, look, we talked about a break of a level here. We didn't quite get through, but um yeah. Yeah, it went lower down. It went to a tested level too, but yeah, it wasn't really that was the level I was looking for. So yeah, look at that. Chop, 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 chop. 9:30 is right here. Yeah, actually 9:30 was set for more of a short. Right there, this candle. Opening in this level. But again, 1, 2, 3. We expected this one to break on number 4. And it went higher. It looks like it grabbed more levels. So yeah, some of you guys could have probably grabbed that one. But again, 1, 2, 3. This is 4. 9:30 was right here, and it ended up peaking, grabbing, and going. So you could have got short off this one. There could have been a short trade off Russell right there off the 9:30. Yeah, there's this green right here is your 9:30. There's your green. So even if you didn't enter over here, you still got in on the red. So yeah. So it looks like two potential entries. Like I said, one at the open drove right into that 50% retracement level demand zone. NQ wasn't even close, right? So that was definitely a no. YM, same thing. 9:30 was here, was just pushing us in, but we had no reason to buy it. Um, Again, on the 5 minute, yeah, but on the 15 where we do the analysis, there was no reason to buy it whatsoever. And again, it sliced through and went and grabbed the buyers lower. So it looks like 2 out of 4 today. Um, Again, the only one you really could have, and ES was that the spike because it was in a buying area, and it looks like Russell pulled back at the right time to go through. So 2 for 4, that's not horrible. One was, two of them were definitely no entries. Um, it's funny, one was a long, one was a short for the open today. So let's go check oil out. Let's see what oil is doing. Yeah, it's already out. That's what I was afraid of. Yeah, look at that. Came right down and grabbed it. So again, we came up and we were stabilizing in that zone before oil. So it looks like some of the data is already out on this one. There's your entry already. So there's your quick oil hit. It's interesting. We drove down and now we're driving back up again with 7 minutes to go. Hmm. Can it do it? Interesting call. Hmm. Uh-oh. Now I'm curious. I'm going to see what is it going to do. Uh, One sec, guys. I will set that up, but no. Yeah. So the trade may be out on this one. I don't think. Let's see. They didn't release the data early, did they? Second, government concerns. No. So yeah, I want to see what it does. We'll see what it bounces. But again, there was kind of the setup that we talked about. The stabilization holding in something. It did go a little bit early and hit. Um, question is it gonna hold, or was this the trade already? Have we already set up? Um, Overall, though, I would say with that big API number right now, and again, this is a 1 minute chart, but even on a 5 or 15, we know we're in an area that we've already had sellers in the past, right? We've gone a little bit above that, but we haven't actually breached through the top of this yet. So unless this is a completely earth-shattering, holy crap, we're down, 8 million barrels. This area is probably going to be an area. Again, this is extended a bit high. I would say that it is probably set up more for a short. Unfortunately, the short that we were looking for has already occurred, right? When we drew this 1 minute ago over here, we were right at that level of the stabilization, so it's kind of already in. We got 5 minutes to go, and it's already hit the full profit target. So, you know, we doing what 17? Yeah, it's crazy. Look at that. That was a $1 move already. A $1 move to the downside in just that small time. So we'll see. All right, well, we got 4 minutes. We might as well go ahead and do the drawing then, real quick. Go on, you can attach. There we go. All right, so we're gonna do the drawing a little bit early. We can get the drawing out of the way. That way we can do it. Get it right on. Hold on. Oh, I don't need it. All right. Who won yesterday? Does anyone remember who won yesterday? I do not. I feel like it was. Was it Ernest yesterday? I feel like it was Ernest yesterday. I could be wrong. I can check afterwards just to see. But it is Wednesday, so it is a 50 chip. It is a 50 chip Wednesday. Somebody's in it for a bit more. But I don't remember who it is. I just remember Briggs asked, and he actually dropped a position 26. He got off the first page, right? A little bit extra spending there. But I feel like it was Ernest yesterday. I really do. Anyway, we'll see. All right, let's close it down. We got 3 minutes. Winner of today's drawing is, and really, I wouldn't say there's any major numbers in there. Looks like there's no gigantic players, right? No Ernest, no Ernest. Hey, Nero, you're telling me no Ernest, no Ernest, but you only bought one chip, right? You only bought one. So what that shows me is you're like Mr. Powell, right? You're talking a big game, but you're not backing it up with action, my friend. All right, winner of today. Actually, maybe Neuro won. I don't know. I got to figure out who the heck won yesterday. I don't think you guys remember who won on Monday, right? Because nobody went in big today. So winner of today's drawing is Will. All right, let's mark this. All right, let's go. I think Will only had one today, right? Will only had one. All right. So let's see who won 2 days ago. It was Ernest. There we go. So all right. So Will gets his 25. I'm sorry. Will gets his 50. All right. Will gets his 50. Um, I'm glad that Ernest helped me out there. I was like, who the heck did it? Guys are making it hard on me. Yeah, look at that, guys. It's. I wouldn't say that that's holding again. The hold was right here inside of that area on the 1 minute, and it did it at 10-12. When we drew it is when it was literally going in. So I feel like the trade is in. I mean, my feeling on this one is it's still pulling back. It's not holding again. The trade, unfortunately, I mean, not unfortunately, but I mean, again, that's the 35-1. You should have gotten already. You should already be out of your trade on this one. I'd say that oil is more poised to go down. Um, right where it is on a technical basis. I mean, it is driving lower, driving lower, driving lower right before the news. Um, but everybody's already expecting the big miss number. Like the big miss is already in, and we're running into, we're already running in the sellers with some confirmation. We've already started to kind of pre-position ourselves. So I don't know. Like I said, trade's already done. We'll see what we got 1 minute here. We'll see what it can be. Remember, the API number was saying it's a minus 4.2. I'm wondering if we get like a minus 2.8, something like that. I feel like we'll get a minus. Um, Last time we had this gigantic surplus, right? They were way off last time. It was big last time, so we'll see. Oh, come on. It's 1 minute. We got it in there. But look, the forecast is at what? Minus point 0.7. They had it basically being a little bit of a surplus. So you can see there's already a disagreement in these two. But their forecast was there was going to be a surplus and came in bad. We'll see. But yeah, oh, it's rising. It's trying. It's popping. It's popping. It's popping. Let's see. Survey says. Oh, come on. You already know it's in there. I hate when they do this. Come on. No whammies. No whammies. No whammies. Oh, it was close, guys. I was close, right? I said a minus 2.8. It was a minus 2.5. So I was close. I was close, which again is not as big. So yeah, that was probably your oil trade for the morning. Was that short? So I wouldn't be surprised if this turns because the market was looking at a 4.2, right, from yesterday. So yeah, so that was the trade. That was it. So hopefully you guys are able to grab that. But yeah, man, I should be the oil picker. I'm telling you, I should be. I win so much that I forget. I know Ernest is like, yeah, I wake up and I am excellence. So, all right. With that said, I'll catch everybody tomorrow morning. We're back on. You guys have good trading today. If you need anything, shoot me a message on Discord, and I'll catch you then. You guys take care.